Hey guys, welcome. I'm Parshvika. Welcome to the channel where we talk a lot about psychic ability stuffs. We also talk a lot about supernatural stuff, tarot card magic, and all that stuff. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what is clairaudience. I've already covered claircognizance and clairvoyance. If you haven't checked that video so far, make sure you check it out to know about these two type of psychic abilities. You can check it out on my channel. But today, I'm going to talk about clairaudience. It's another kind of the psychic ability, so let's dive in. Give this video a big thumbs up, consider subscribing if you're interested in more such kind of videos. What exactly is the clairaudience? Clairaudience is among the one of the psychic ability is actually hearing the sounds. Like not just hearing the sounds that we hear naturally, like I'm hearing the sounds of the horn on the road, or I'm hearing my own sounds, like I'm speaking and talking to the camera, so I'm hearing my own sound. I'm hearing the sound of the watch, the clock that are there on the wall. I'm hearing the sound of the birds chirping. I'm hearing the sounds of some machine because there is construction work is going around near my house. So what is the sound you're hearing right now? Like you can actually deep dive into that. You can hear the sounds, and sometimes you hear the sounds the spirit is telling you something. And I'm going to talk about one of the most important signs to understand what is clairaudience and how you can develop, and also to know whether you have this natural gift or not. But it's all about hearing the spirit guides, or hearing the message, or hearing the sounds, or all that stuff. It's all about the psychic ability which is related to the hearing. Like clairvoyance was related to visioning, like you vision the things, you see the things. You see the future events or see the things are happening. In claircognizance is knowing about the things. So clairaudience is actually hearing the things, hearing the future events, hearing the things that's going to happen in your life. Now the number one sign that I can tell you that it's based on my own experience is, hey, do you talk with yourself? Like, do you literally talk with yourself? When I say talk with yourself, that means literally you talk yourself. And I know it sounds crazy, but I've seen a lot of the people talk with themselves. Like you look in the mirror, okay? You look in the mirror and you talk yourself, like I love you, I'm worthy, whatever you say, your affirmations, or whatever you say yourself to in the mirror, or even if you're just walking down in your home, in your street, you're talking to yourself. Are you talking to yourself? If you talk to yourself, then yes, you have the natural ability of clairaudience. You talk to yourself and you hear some information. Maybe you hear it from outside, or maybe you hear it within you. Like this is actually, it's very hard to differentiate sometimes about the clairaudience, because you're going to hear the sound, but sometimes you hear the noises that nobody else is hearing. You're going to hear somebody speaking to you, but nobody else is going to hear that. That's the kind of the clairaudience. So if you talk with yourself, then yeah, you have the clairaudience, because when you talk with yourself, you have the one voice talking with yourself. And then you suppose, for example, you're asking a question to yourself, should I do this or not? You're talking with yourself and you're asking yourself the question, should I do this or not? And then you hear some noise, and then you talk back with yourself and you answer that question. So there are two different things that are happening right now. You may be feeling like, oh, I'm just talking with myself. I say what I'm gonna do, is it okay or not, and then I'm gonna be answering myself. No, you talk with yourself, you ask yourself the question, and then the higher subconscious mind or the universe is actually replying to your answers, and then you say it out loud, you hear it. Somehow you hear it. And here you also can see that clairaudience is actually mixing with the claircognizance. Like you can receive the download of the information all of a sudden. So when you talk with yourself, you have like two kind of the abilities. One is the claircognizance, another one is the clairaudience. Because sometimes you hear the things, but then also you receive a download of the information, and then you are like, which is this ability? So it's kind of like a mixture of these two. But if you talk with yourself, this is a number one sign. Another sign, you can see that you hear the things. Sometimes you hear the things. Like I can tell you, when I was at some uncle's place, I think I was around 14 years of age or 15 years of age. I usually never go and sleep at their place, but they have the kids. So I was playing with my cousins, and I was there, and I was there at my uncle's house. And at the night, I just slept there because my brother was also there. We were playing with the kids, and we slept there together and enjoying having fun. So at the night, right after, I think it was after 2 or 3 a.m., I woke up and I hear some sounds. I hear like somebody was yelling, somebody was screaming, somebody was talking out very loud, and I couldn't understand what that noise is. I don't know. It was really scary for me to hear those noises, especially at the night at 2 or 3 a.m. And then I ask my aunt when I wake up in the morning, I ask them, did you hear the noises or the voices at the noises at the night? And they were like, no, we didn't hear anything. I asked my brother, he also didn't hear anything. I asked my cousins, they also didn't hear anything. It was only me who was hearing that noises, and it was so weird at that time. I couldn't realize it because I wasn't even aware of this psychic ability. I was just 14-15 years of age. I was just a teenager, but I hear those voices, and those voices were like yelling, somebody is screaming, somebody is like creating noises. That was the kind of the voice was there, that was the noise was there. And I hear that noise and I was like, what's going around, why I'm hearing this thing? And I was like feeling so crazy, and I had that conversation. I remember I went to the school and I had the similar conversation with one of my friend. I asked her, did you hear something when you go at the night or when you wake up all of a sudden at the night? And she was like, yes, I do hear it. And fortunately, she was living around the area nearby where my aunt were living. There was one where my uncle and aunt were living. My friend house was also nearby. So she was like, yes, there is some noises at the night, and not everybody can listen it. Only few people can listen it because there are the spirit guides that are actually so weird for me to hear those noises. And I was like, this is crazy that I could hear the voices that nobody could hear it, especially at the night. It was damn so crazy. But then I heard it and I had a conversation with my friend, and she's like, I also hear the similar noises, and there is really the spirit guides, something is happening in that area, especially at the night. And I don't want to go into that scary time that we had a conversation with my friend, but that was really scary for me to hear those noises, and nobody ever listened to that. And that was the power of the ability of the psychic ability, that was the clairaudience. Another incident I had, I moved from the old place in my parents' place, and we moved to another place. And at that time at the night, I don't know why, but I heard like somebody is actually taking a drum, was beating the drum, especially at the night. Have you heard about the noises, like, or you watch any movie like a tribal community, like especially the movie that's related in the jungle, and there's like a tribal people, the old jungle people, they have the like big drums, and they take the drums and they beat the drums, and then they are like, okay, then they make their fire, they have the bonfire, they burn the animals or something like that, and they have like a ceremony or something, and they beat the drum like that, right? The same noise I hear a lot many times when I moved from that house of my parents' place to another place we moved, and I hear that noise so well at the night, and so well, like somebody is beating the drums. And I asked my parents, my brother, and everybody who came to the house, can you hear this noise or not? And they were like, no, we never heard it, it's not there. And I'm like, how could I hear something that nobody can hear it? I didn't even realize back then I have the ability to psychic as the clairaudience. So notice some things, that do you hear something that nobody else can hear it? It can be anything. It can be hear water noise, it can be birds chirping noise, it can be the noise of a musical instrument, it can be the noise of somebody yelling or screaming or something like that. Like, it's actually the psychic power. You could hear it, nobody else can hear it. So if you hear something, you can ask other people in nearby that they hear the similar thing or not. If they didn't hear it, that means you hear it, that means it's the power of the clairaudience. So this is a sign, and it's practically based on my own experience. I'm like a combination of the clairaudience, clairvoyance, and claircognizance. Like, these are great that I do. And sometimes I also have a clairsentient, like I could feel the thing. So it's like a mixture of the different psychic abilities. Now, how to develop this ability? The first thing foremost you need to do, anybody and everybody can have this psychic of clairaudience. Obviously, some people are naturally gifted with that, but others can also learn this and can also acquire this psychic ability. Everyone is psychic and anybody can practice it. That's the first thing. The second thing you need to do, you need to practice it actively listening to the noises. You can do it when you are meditating, especially when you are meditating. Close your eyes and hear all the noise. Focus on your breathing sound. That's the first and foremost noise that you're gonna feel and hear. That's the breathing noise. Then the beating of your heart. You could feel the beating of your heart. You could also, if you're even sensitive, you could also feel your pulses. You can touch it and you can feel your pulses. You could hear it if you keep it in your ears, and if you're that sensitive. And then you can start listening the noises from the external environment, the noises of the bird, roads, like the vehicle on the road, or the birds chirping, or the musical instrument. Like you can go deep dive into more and more and more and hear the things, and then you can actually do like hear one noise, and then you can drop that noise and start hearing something else, and then you can pick up that. Then you practice. The more you practice, the better you get it. That's another thing. Another thing is you can do is you can start doing it even when you are not meditating. Even when you are present every day, you can start listening the things. And if you are listening the things that nobody else, you can ask other people, can you hear the same noise that I'm hearing right now? If they don't hear it, that's your clairaudience. So start listening to the noise. Whenever you have questions, you can ask yourself the questions, and you can hear the noises or hear the answers from the spirit guides. And obviously the spirit guides will not going to obviously tell you the clear answer in your own voice. Sometimes they're gonna show you some other ways, like the birds chirping, or the sound of the water, or sound of the waterfall, or ocean wave sound, or sound of the birds, or especially the sounds of one particular bee, like pee, that actually stink at the night. That's also the very popular noise. Another is also the noise of the musical instrument beating drums or something like that. Like that's all you could practice, and you can ask the question, and you can go more deep dive there. That you can also practice it with your friend who is also wants to develop this ability, or has this ability, or interested in that. You can also join the group events or the coaching programs or online Facebook groups or something who are also interested in that, and you can together practice this ability. So these are some ways to develop it, and I've also covered about the sign. Regardless of the sign, even if you are not able to hear it right now, but still you want to able to develop the psychic ability, understand you can develop it. Anybody can develop this thing. You don't need to be natural born gifted with this psychic ability. You can do it even if you are not gifted and you wanted to do it. Anybody can do that. Keep things in mind. Hopefully this video is helpful. Share your experience if you have anything that you want to share. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you the next time. Bye guys.